The world is on fire. The Middle East is being torn up by war and terrorism that have forced millions of people to flee. Syria looks like the disaster. Iran seeks to dominate the region and openly declares its intention to wipe some countries off the map. While in Eastern Europe, mad Russia has seized Ukrainian territory by force, starting with annexation of Crimea and invading an east of Ukraine with their tanks. China is flexing its muscles against its neighbors like Philippines, Taiwan and even India, especially in South China Sea. There is only one nation in the world capable of putting out these fires. That nation is, of course, the United States. Many will argue, understandably, that is not fair. It is fair, and there is a fact. Only America has the diplomatic reach, the financial resources, the firepower, but most importantly, the moral greatness to lead the free world against the autocrats, rogue states, and terrorists that are trying to overwhelm it. We all have seen firsthand what happened when America tries to lead from behind instead of leading from the front. Russia illegally annexed Crimea in March 2014. The first gunpoint invasion and the land grab in Europe since the end of World War II. US Secretary of State John Kerry called it an unbelievable act of aggression. He went on, "You just don't in the 21st century behave in 19th century fashion by invading another country on a completely trumped-up pretext." This might be a beautiful statement of principle, but without a drastic action, it becomes useless and naive. The first half of the 20th century was the bloodiest in human history. That was before America became a global superpower. Since America became one, the major world power have coexisted in relative peace. Now that peace is threatened, and America must step forward again. Why? Because no one else can do it. Europe is too weak and divided to lead the world. The free nations of Europe have an essential role to play, no doubt about it, and they must assist in full share of cost, but only America has the credibility to lead. This is not just about the money or the manpower, it is also about morality. Only America has the moral greatness, history proved, to lead the free world, not for the sake of power, but for the sake of peace. Yes, the US will only be able to ensure peace if its leaders act with full confidence. If the world even thinks that America lacks the will to use force or enforce its red lines, it will encourage dictators and autocratic states and terrorists to take over. As tempting as retreat or neutrality might be, it won't make America and the other freedom-loving countries safer or more prosperous. History shows us the bad guys don't stay in their own neighborhood. You can just look at Pearl Harbor or 9/11 to be reminded that the safety of USA is deeply connected to the rest of the world. And that must be America's biggest motivation. And the expansion that allowed the vast global economic growth since World War II, the expansion that has lifted billions of people out of poverty, could not have happened if America had not guaranteed it. From a history standpoint, we can now confirm it. Japan, after losing to US in war, has unconditionally surrendered and went through full invasion by Americans. I mean literally, USA could do whatever they pleased. They could enslave Japs like Stalin did with surrounded 500,000 Germans, or simply torture and execute them in huge camps like North Vietnamese did to South Vietnamese after America failed to step in. Or they just could be merciful and simply cut off all the industrial equipment left in the country and move it out to states for use, leaving Japanese starving to death, like USSR did with Germany in 1945-1946. But they didn't. What they did though was making sure Japanese people would have the democracy and economic prosperity. And we all know what Japan is today. Let's look at Europe, devastated by Second World War. Whatever USA put their hand on, that country had flourished. A special economic program called the Marshall Plan was developed and implemented to lift the Europe from ruins. And that is how the Western Europe became 100 times more developed and prosperous than Eastern Europe. Still not convinced? Okay. Take a look at Korean War, 1950-1953. Once again, Communist North has invaded Democratic South. America stepped in and kicked Kim Il-sung's ass, moving him out to 38th latitude. And what happened after US occupation of South Korea? Correct. Instead of becoming someone's colony, it became Asian superpower. As opposed to North Korea, who is torturing and starving to death their own people. The list can go on for long, but you got the picture. And that is why the whole world has trust in America. Every single country on the planet has US dollars in their reserves. Fuck, even countries that hate America, like Russia, Iran, even Zimbabwe, they still hold big portion of their national wealth reserves in US dollars. Moreover, they all know that since 1971, the US dollars is backed by fucking nothing. It is backed only with America's promise not to print those dollars like there was no tomorrow. And yet they still believe and trust USA. They don't trust China, they don't trust Russia, obviously, or Brazil. No, the whole world trusts USA. But freedom, stability and prosperity don't come for free. And they are not the norm, they are exception. An American retreat will unleash a new plug of dictators and oppressors. That is why USA has to become the world policeman. No one would want to live in the city with no police. I mean, would you? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe